Hey guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Monday, the 7th of November. Thanks for joining me. I want to use the Hanson Roberts Tarot today, and because this deck is so small, I want to use 4 cards here. I hope you've had a great weekend, and let's see what the tarot has to say about this first day of the new working week. So let's have a look. First card is in here. We've got Judgment. Okay, so that's a major wake-up call. Then we've got the 7 of Cups. Okay. You're entitled to live the life you choose. And it can look whatever way you want it to look. So that penny drops, which is great. Then we've got the 5 of Swords. Okay, so the 5 of Swords is about, is about serious conflict with other people. So you assert yourself, other people may not like that. So there's brewing tension here. And then finally, the Queen of Pentacles. Ultimately, this tension and this friction and the obstacles are meant to be overcome. And you're meant to listen to what you want. And compromise is not such a... Well, I'll have a look at that in more detail when I go through each card. But I think usually some compromise is essential and important. But on this day, kind of backing down because you're being intimidated or told that you can or cannot do certain things. I suppose that's different. That's, you know, someone maybe in an authority position. But that's not going to work particularly well for you today. And ultimately, with the Queen of Pentacles, if you pursue what you feel to be good and right and proper and amazing and successful, then you're going to end up the way she does, which is in a very lovely position. Very comfortable. She's got her little bunny there, so... All right, so the Judgment card is the 20th card in the Major Arcana. It's at the very end of the Major Arcana, so when this card appears, you've really been through everything. You've been through the Hanged Man and the Empress and the Chariot and Judgment and all these things. Judgment is when you kind of hear the angels sing and you can kind of hear what they want you to do or what their message is, and you feel like this awakening. You know, like when... nuns talk about this like vocation or this calling that they had. It's like this ethereal voice from above. But it sounds very remote and abstract if you put it like that. But we all have an inner voice that says, do this, don't do this. And if we follow our gut, that's the same thing. But when the Judgment card comes along, it's like some inner voice is really loud. It's amplified via this trumpet. And usually it's kind of got flames coming off it. So it's a message that's really going to light up your life. It's going to allow you to get closer to living your life purpose or to actually live it. It's something that your higher self wants you to do. And you can see this family here kind of reaching out. They all look very vulnerable and open. It's kind of like, you know, when it's kind of they're communicating on a heart level. It's not about the intellect and criticizing. It's about, I hear this, I feel it, and I'm going to do something with it. The next card is the 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups is about looking at your options and seeing what's important to you. So here we've got this wizard-looking type, and we've got the 7 Cups. So we've got a big castle here. We've got some stars coming out of this one, a rainbow, an octopus, a dragon, wealth, and a fairy. So these are his options. These are the things he longs for. And most people have, I mean, it depends on each person. Some people have 3 things that they're really after. Some people have none. Some people have hundreds of pages. It's different for everybody. But the 7 of Cups, I think, is important to realize that this is possible, you know, even if you don't feel like you want anything. Because Cups is water. Water is about feelings and connection and love. And if you approach any situation kind of in a loving way and you say, wow, the world is so rich and varied and anything is possible. I mean, I like the octopus in there. That doesn't show up in any other tarot deck. It shows up here because I suppose the person who drew this, that's one of his dreams, right? So those are charming and unique. And if they exist within you, it's important to pursue them. But also to kind of give yourself permission to say, do you know what, if I want something, I'm going to test the water, see where that leads me. Because usually it's a journey that then proves to you that you're very capable of creating your own destiny. And often, usually the 7 of Cups is a figure that's kind of shrouded in darkness at the front. And then the 7 of Cups are there, right, in this cloud. And it's the self that's unexplored, that's looking to other things, it's external to itself to fill some sort of inner hole, some inner gap. But it's different here because you've heard this calling of your higher self, and that gives you a particular direction. So because of the flames that are usually on the trumpet, you're not going to be overly confused on this day. I think you'll have one or two things that you're really interested in that you want to pursue. And that's good because if you have, a list of 50 things, you can only do so much in one day. But the fire and the water of these two cups kind of mean that any confusion goes by the wayside. You're very passionate, and it's almost like you can see something in front of you. It's so near you that it's almost like you can reach out and touch it. That then, interestingly enough, is met by some challenge. The Five of Swords I always associate with bullying because it's this one smug soldier at the front with usually some smirk on his face, and he's taking all the swords. These other two have been beaten, they're humiliated, they're sad, they've lost everything, and he doesn't have any compassion. Instead, he's like, I'm the victor, and it's that whole kind of attitude. I've made myself bigger by dominating other people. So I've had a few moments in life like that where I've had some really good news or something, and I've mentioned it, and the response of some people has been like, really, it's like, wow, it's like I can really see that you don't want anything good to happen, and it's like, it's always kind of a shock when you're confronted with that. But there are certain things where you are going to have moments where it's like, okay, this person doesn't have my back. And they're unpleasant moments, but it reveals a lot. I mean, when you have these kind of experiences where someone kind of makes themselves your foe for whatever reason because they just don't like something, it changes the dynamic. It's difficult to put back together again. I mean, these people, once the war's over, aren't going to be friends, are they? If they see each other in the town or village, after, they're going to give each other a wide berth, or there's going to be some sort of ongoing conflict. So the message I'm getting fundamentally is that you can't change some people. Some people aren't going to be happy for you, and rather than trying to get that to change, just accept it and move on to people who are happy for you. Like the Queen of Pentacles means that by you pursuing your own things, you're certainly going to be happy with the good outcomes if you don't let this stop you. So the negativity could come via other people, institutions, which are made up of many people. It could be something you overhear, some sort of communication you get. If you're trying to get something registered or notarized or anything official, it could be that there's some sort of snag that means you have to delay it or you have to go see someone else first. Don't let that stop you is the message I'm getting. It leads to the Queen of Pentacles, who looks kind of like looks really sweet in this deck. She's got roses here, she's got this rabbit, the fruits, the flowers, and the pentacle. Pentacles is earth, so it's anything that exists on planet Earth, and it's to do with your work and how you create an income and your body and how you feel and the practical things you have in your life, so your environment, what it looks like. And the Queen of Pentacles has a huge influence on her environment. And again, the theme that I'm getting here again today, it's interesting because she really brings a lot to the table. She's warm and beautiful and kind and loves animals and has a green thumb. So she goes to any kind of environment and it flourishes and it blossoms because of her. And it's the same thing with this. These things exist within you. And if you have an amazing approach, like any wonderful thing can happen today, one or two, like I mentioned earlier, will appear. Like the fire kind of makes it very clear for you to understand what it is that's important to you. And I would build on that. Like any situation, if you come in with a smile on your face and if you're happy and you're willing to do work and you're willing to make a contribution, it's very, very unlikely that you're going to get a horrible reception from other people. If you come in like this, saying, I'm better than you and I'm going to prove it, then you'll get a bad reception for that. So these three cards are really positive. So it looks like an amazing start, but it looks like there is some sort of tension here. It's important not to back down, to overcome that. Just think of like the momentum, you're just hopping along and you just jump over this one until you get to the Queen of Pentacles. And I think you'll have a great day in terms of taking practical action to realize your hopes and dreams, to really feel clear and, don't need to spit on them. Really clear on what you want and what's going to make you happy. So, you know, wear your earmuffs a little bit when it comes to the naysayers. Don't let them put you off. Don't let them take the wind out of your sails. And I'd much rather live in the realm of the angels and the wizards and the beautiful rabbit princess queen here than the land of the vicious soldiers. So I think we have a big choice of where we want to land and what we want to associate with, you know? Okay, number-wise, we've got 20 and 7 is 27. And then 5 is 32 and 1 is 33. Wow, that's a number I hardly ever get. 1 and 5 is 6 and 7 is 13, 33. So 33 technically isn't a master number. I'm always quite flexible with these things. 11 and 22 are master numbers. So, you know, 33 is significant, to say the least. So is 44. And 33, I always associate with the ascended masters. And like this higher voice that speaks to you. And we've got the angels here. So it's your, whatever you want to call them, whether you work with Saint Germain or Mother Mary or Jesus or Krishna or the angels or Merlin or some sort of earth elemental. You know, whatever voice comes through clearly. And that's always going to change, by the way. You know, if you're intuitive or if you're conscious, basically, sometimes you're going to get messages via your gut feeling. And sometimes may hear something or you'll read a sign on the street or something. It's different every time. And today, the message is going to come via one specific voice. And it's likely to have some sort of persona attached to it, like the angels or Merlin or something like that. And one voice is often very easy to listen to rather than many voices. And that again underlines why it's so easy to pick with what you want to manifest. So it looks super productive and there's a great sense of well-being here. I hope you have a wonderful start to the week. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. And if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing day and I'll speak to you tomorrow.